guys, it's your girl from Philly. Welcome to another episode of Handcrafted Wines, where we make great wine from home the fun and easy way. Before we get started, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any episodes.
If I'm stuck in a cloud, drifting no way to get out.
In today's episode, we'll be making pineapple wine. We'll be starting with 3 pounds of frozen pineapples, 2.5 cups of sugar, our usual players, which is our pectic enzyme to break down the fruit walls, our acid blend to provide the right pH balance of our must, our dynamic duo, which is our yeast energizer and our yeast nutrient, our wine tannin, and today we're using Red Star Premier Classique. Let's get started. Now, when I think about pineapple wine, I think about Hawaii. So I should have said aloha from Hawaii. I wish I was there. I traveled to Hawaii about 3 or 4 years ago for the very first time. And we stayed in Kaluakona. This is a net straining bag, so it has like a little bit more give to it. It looks like a crocheted sock, but it is a straining bag. And while we were in Hawaii, we hiked Volcano National Park, and we went to an all black sand beach. I think it was called Panunalu'u. If you know the name of the beach, put it in the comments. But it was probably one of the most magnificent things I've ever seen. They have turtles on this beach and coconut trees, and it's just black lava sand everywhere. It's so gorgeous. Okay, we're going to get started with our wine with our 3 pounds of pineapples. Because they still have like a little frost on them, I'm going to add some hot water to kind of completely defrost them. This is one of the strangest straining bags I purchased. I purchased it from the brewing store. I think this is actually meant for beer, but we're going to make it work for wine today. I love the color that pineapple wine produces. It just looks like sunshine. So more about my Hawaii trip. The highlight of that vacation for me was, well, a lot of things, but the main thing I loved was the luau. It was dancers from all of the Polynesian islands at the luau, and they were demonstrating their versions of the same welcoming dances, war dances, all different types of dances. Like the messages were in the actual dance, and every island had their own version of it, or every country had their own version of it. Tahiti was there, New Zealand was there. It was pretty awesome. That's one place that I'd like to go back as soon as possible. On that vacation, we had a chance to tour the macadamia factory, the farm and factory. I believe it's Mauna Loa. And we saw both mountains, Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea. And drove over to Hilo, which is on the opposite side of the island from where we were staying. All right, the straining bag's starting to get a little heavy now. I probably won't be buying another straining bag like this, but let's see how it does with this wine. Pardon my voice, guys. I don't know what happened. My voice just decided to disappear. I feel absolutely fine. I'm not sick in any way. I just don't have a voice right now. Okay, we're almost done. This is like really like a slushie at this point. Now, I have made pineapple wine out of fresh pineapple. My niece-in-law, my nephew's wife, had a bunch of pineapples, and she gave me pineapples, and I made my first batch of pineapple wine from that. That was delicious. And hopefully this will be delicious too. Now, because we have this loose knit straining bag, I'm not going to use the immersion blender just because I don't want to risk it snagging it and it getting caught into the immersion blender. So I may do I have I don't think I have the masher at all. I may not use anything. I may just mash it with a spoon today because this fruit has really broken down from defrosting. We're almost done, guys. If you plan on making pineapple wine with me, put a little note in the comments so I know who's working with me. So we're going to put the rest of this pineapple in here. And since nothing else is going in our straining bag, I'm going to close the bag. It's actually kind of cool looking now. And I'll put a knot in it. I've already boiled some water in my Kosari kettle that I love. And I'm just going to pour just enough to cover the fruit. We don't want a hot batch. We want it to be, I would say room temperature, but not everybody's room is the same temperature. So I would say slightly cooler than body temperature is what we're looking for. I got that from, I watched Brian and Danica and on City Stead Mead. No, City Stead Brews is their show. And that's where I kind of got that understanding that you're not looking for room temperature because someone's room could be freezing and someone else's room could be hot. You're looking for more like a lukewarm, cooler than lukewarm body temperature. So this actually kind of broke up a lot on its own without me using the immersion blender or using the masher. And that might be a good thing because pineapple is one of those fruits that tend to foam up while it's fermenting. Strawberry does it too. Anything that has a bit of pectin in it has a tendency to foam up. And speaking of pectin, it's a good temperature right now too, guys. Speaking of pectin, we're going to add our pectin enzyme. We're going to add some more cold water to it. A little bit more hot. It's just a little bit left in the kettle. And it's still a good temperature. Now we can add our additives. I'm going to add everything to the vessel except the tannin. I want to dissolve that first before we put it in there because especially with this netted straining bag, I'm afraid that it's going to cling onto the bag and never dissolve. So we're going to start with our pectic enzyme. Get in there. Next is our acid blend. And pineapple, along with strawberries and other summer fruits, are high in vitamin C. I'm just realizing that the pectic enzyme didn't completely go in. There we go. We want all of it in there. But we still want to add acid blend to make sure that we have the right pH balance. We want to be mid-range on the pH balance scale. So I believe the scale goes up to 8. We want to be a 4 or 5, something like that. More acidic than alkaline. In an alkaline environment, it's an environment where you're inviting other type of microorganisms to grow inside your batch, even though we're protecting it against that, but the yeast won't thrive. And this is all about making our little yeasties as happy as we possibly can be. All right, let's add the dynamic duo in. And then I'm going to just take the, I guess I should have saved some hot water for that, but I didn't. I'm going to take the tannin and just blitz that with the immersion blender just really quickly so it's completely smooth. With some water, some cool water. Okay. This is great stuff, but the fact that it clumps up so much, or it tends to like bind up inside of liquid, makes it a little bothersome. Yep. Might as well put some oxygen in it while we're at it, huh? Okay. Now that's good and blended. It's going to change this pretty bright yellow color to, I guess, like an amber color. But as it ferments, it's going to go back to the pretty gold color, the pretty like lemon yellow color. Okay. Oh, look at that. It's ombre. Okay. And I guess I should have dissolved the sugar inside the water before I added the fruit, but I didn't. So we're going to work with it the way it is. We're just going to make sure that we stir in all of our sugars. I have 2.5 cups. I think I might stop at 2 cups just to see where it is as far as the gravity reading. There's no telling how sweet frozen pineapple is. You don't know, what crop it came from. But this kind of looked sweet and juicy. I should have tasted a piece. That's weird. That little chunk. There we go. Okay. The other thing that I loved about Hawaii was the fresh fruits. I ate a fruit for the very first time there that I'd never even heard of. It was called an egg fruit or canistel. I'm going to partner with one of the tropical fruit companies in Florida so that I can start making some fruits with some wines with some of those different fruits that we're not accustomed to. But it was so delicious. I had that and I had longan fruit for breakfast every morning along with the acai bowl. And even though we didn't dissolve the sugar first, it's actually dissolving pretty good right here in the vessel with the straining bag in there. Now, pineapple wine goes good with summertime meals like barbecues, even if you're vegan, just like anything that's grilled outside, pineapple wine goes amazing with it. It's currently January where I am, so this will be ready for at least tasting by the summer, but it'll be a lot better by next year. Some wines you can get away with it tasting very new, but some of them you taste it and you're like, this is kind of green. This needs a whole year to grow up. Okay, so that's pretty good. All of the sugars have dissolved. I'm going to add some more water and then get our first gravity reading. You know me, we usually have to take 2 or 3 before I'm where I need to be. I'm going to stop there, guys. I hope somebody decides to make this along with me. I'd love to compare color, and when I do my tasting, you could do your tasting and you could let me know whether or not it's flavorful, if it has a good bouquet to it, whether or not it came out dry or sweet. I may start doing a live for members so that we could actually talk about our wines together. Okay, so we're going to get our first gravity reading. My hydrometer is already in here. Everything I use, of course, is always sanitized with Star San solution before I start. So it's washed and then it's sanitized. And then throughout the process, I'll also sanitize it again, just because there are microbes in the air that we breathe and they settle down on your things. Yeah, I think it was a good call with not putting the immersion blender in with this straining bag. It's pulling really tightly on the turkey baster. I wonder what it's going to look like after cleaning it. If it's going to be reusable, or if I should be just tossing it after this one use. Turn this around. We're almost at 250 milliliters. Now, if you've been with me for a little while, you know that reading my hydrometer is my weakest skill. I'm getting better, but I'm not great yet. Okay. So we're at 250 milliliters. We're going to drop the hydrometer inside. Let's give it a Star San spray, a little shake. Oh, that's an interesting place to finish. So it looks like we need all of our sugar. Ooh, no, yeah, this would give us just 10% alcohol. And the line that it ended on said beer. So that means it's really not enough sugars at all in here. I think not blitzing it with the immersion blender too probably didn't break up all the sugars in the fruit. All right, so we're going to finish with this half cup. And if necessary, I'll add more. Where's my stir? Hey, God. Stir it until there's no more grit at the bottom. There's a little bit more sugar left in the container. I think after sanitizing it, it was still a little damp. So I want to get it all. All right. One of the things I love about making wine at home is the fragrance. It smells so good, and then it changes on you as it starts to ferment. Then it has a totally different bouquet. All right, no granules at the bottom. We're going to try for another gravity reading. Hopefully, we're not at beer anymore. We're at least at wine. I'm okay if it's a low ABV wine. I'd be okay with a 12% ABV. Now, if you notice, I don't label the wines after I make them. I actually just keep an online journal. I keep a Google Doc of what I've used in all of my wines, so that I can track the ABV, the recipe, and maybe one day I'll write a book. And then we'll hit the big time. Over the years, I have developed like quite a few recipes. Some pretty awesome and some not so awesome. Some mean a lot to me. For instance, I created a butterfly pea flower wine when my granddaughter was being born, and I named it after her. So I currently have 5 gallons of butterfly pea flower wine that I made for her birthday. Well, not for her, but in honor of her birthday. Okay, we have our 250 milliliters in our vessel. And we are now no longer in beer territory. We are at wine. Okay. So we came in at about 13% ABV, and our hydrometer reading is 1.170. So I'm okay with that. I just want to see what we end up with while we're making our wine. And it'll teach us next time whether or not we want to add a little more sugar, a little bit more fruit. I think the 3 pounds per gallon is good. If you look at some of the older recipes for fruit wines, they'll tell you use like 5 or 6 gallons. I'm sorry, 5 or 6 pounds of fruit per gallon. Using that much fruit would take up the entire vessel. So you'd be waiting forever for all of the liquid to leach out of the fruit for you to actually have a volume of fruit or volume of wine. I think this is perfect. So the last thing that we have to do is add our Red Star Premier Classique. There are other yeasts too. I became very comfortable using Red Star, but for the purpose of this channel, I'll probably, branch out, spread my wings a little bit and try some different yeasts. I just kind of know what to expect with Red Star. And I've used others, but I typically buy yeast in larger batches, 20 packs or 10 packs at a time. So I'll continue to use that until it's all gone, and then I'll try something else. Yeah, that's a rich amber gold color. It smells phenomenal, and I see our yeast are getting busy already. Yeah, they are starting to expand. They'll start to drop down, and then you'll see them do a dance. When they're moving around is when you'll start to see the CO2 escape out of the airlock. Okay, that is everything that we need to do for this batch of pineapple wine. Again, making wine at home is easy. It's just knowing the recipe and knowing what to do. I'm going to tighten it a little bit so it's even. It's perfect. Okay, so that's it for this episode of Handcrafted Wines. Thank you for joining me to make pineapple wine today. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. Please help me grow my channel. I'm having a great time doing this, and I want to do it every week. Thank you for spending this time with me, and have a great day. Bye-bye.